Terence Bledsoe arrived at the Lakeview AutoGroup lot just as the first hints of dawn crept over the Gulf Freeway. The sky, a muted blend of gray and orange that promised another humid Texas morning. He had woken before his alarm, as he often did on days like this, the weight of ownership still feeling both exhilarating and precarious. At 42, Terence wasn't one for extravagance. His life was built on steady effort, not showy displays. He drove his 2018 Chevy Silverado, the truck's cracked windshield a badge of countless miles logged between oil changes, supplier runs, and late-night inventory checks from his days as a floor tech a decade earlier. The toolbox in the bed clanked softly as he pulled into the far corner of the lot, the same spot he'd claimed back when he was just an employee hustling for tips. Muscle memory guided him. Park, lock, sling the backpack over one shoulder. Inside the bag, a battered laptop for crunching sales projections, a stack of paperwork for the day's deals, and a Tupperware of leftover brisket from Sunday's family dinner, seasoned with the smoky rub Denise had perfected over years of backyard barbecues. He stepped out, the gravel crunching under his work boots, and paused to survey the lot. The dealership, nestled on the corner of Beech Nut Lane and Hollowell Avenue in Porte, Texas, was a sprawling expanse of pre-owned vehicles gleaming under dew-hissed covers. The silver 2023 Lexus GX, parked prominently by the street, caught the emerging light. Its low mileage a selling point Terence planned to highlight in upcoming ads. He'd bought the place 3 weeks ago after a grueling battle with banks that saw his solid credit dismissed as not quite there, and his business plan scrutinized like a suspect's alibi. The first bank had laughed him out, citing slim margins on used cars. The second dragged their feet for 6 months, demanding endless documentation. But when the loan finally cleared, Terence had signed with Denise by his side, her hand squeezing his under the table, tears brimming but unshed. She'd believed in him when doubt crept in during those long nights poring over spreadsheets. "This is yours," she'd whispered after the notary stamped the papers. "Ours." The lot was silent, save for the distant hum of early traffic on the freeway. The dealership wouldn't open to customers for another 2 hours, and most of the team trickled in around 9. Terence had scheduled an early meeting with Doug Rivers, the old school supplier from Baytown Tire and Parts, who preferred hand-delivered invoices to digital ones. Terence appreciated that face-to-face deals sealed with a handshake, the way business used to be done in Southeast Texas. No flashy tweets or viral stunts, just reliability treating folks right. He crossed the lot, keys jingling in his pocket, and noted a silver sedan idling across the street, perhaps a Hyundai Sonata. Curiosity? Seekers often slowed to eye the inventory, especially the Lexus. He shrugged it off, fishing out his keys to unlock the front office door. The alarm chirped softly as he disabled it, dropping his backpack on the reception desk and flicking on the fluorescents. Their buzz filled the air like a familiar greeting. He stretched, yawned, and stepped back out to secure the back gate before Doug arrived. That's when the patrol car turned in, not leisurely like the occasional cruiser stopping for coffee, but fast, angling to block his Silverado. Terence raised an eyebrow, a flicker of confusion crossing his face. Police presence wasn't unheard of, security checks after hours, routine patrols, but this felt off. Before he could process, a second cruiser pulled up behind the first. 2 officers emerged, both white, both with stern expressions etched like permanent fixtures. The taller one, nameplate reading Renshaw, adjusted his belt. The shorter, Dugan, rested a hand on his holster. They marched straight toward him, "Can I help you officers with something?" Terence asked, voice steady, neutral. Years of diffusing tense customer negotiations had honed that tone. Renshaw tilted his head. "Yeah, you can. What are you doing here?" Terence blinked. "Excuse me. This lot's closed. We got a call about someone messing with vehicles." Terence's brows furrowed, hands visible at his sides. "I own this place. Just got in early." Dugan squinted. "You got ID?" "Inside," Terence replied. "Office is open. I can show you." Renshaw cut him off. "Stay where you are. Keep your hands visible." A cold knot tightened in Terence's chest. Not full fear yet, but a warning pull. The kind he'd felt too many times before in situations that escalated without reason. Across the street, in a tan one-story house with faded siding, Howard Dillon sipped his burnt coffee, peering through half-closed blinds. He'd lived there since '88, a retired electrician from the Gulf oil rigs, now filling his days with neighborhood watchfulness that bordered on obsession. Loud cars, kids on scooters, the new Indian family next door. Anything off drew his ire. Today, it was Terence. He'd seen the Silverado pull up, watched the man in hoodie and jeans sling a backpack and head to the office, then step back out. Nothing overt, but unfamiliarity triggered Howard's alarm. "Don't look right." He dialed 911. "Yeah, I live on Beach Nut Lane, right across from Lakeview Auto. I think someone's trying to break into the dealership." The dispatcher probed, breaking in. "Tools? No tools, but he's walking around like he owns the place, looking into cars." Description: tall black guy, hoodie, jeans. "I know the old owner. This ain't him." The dispatcher sent officers, calm as protocol. Less than 4 blocks away, Officers Kyle Renshaw and Brent Dugan wrapped a traffic stop. Dispatch crackled. Possible break-in at Lakeview Auto. Male, late 30s, 40s, African-American, backpack, hoodie, tampering with vehicles. Caller doubts ownership claim. Renshaw muttered under his breath. Dugan confirmed it was Weatherford's old place, probably stripping parts. Renshaw scoffed. No lights, no sirens. They rolled in assuming guilt. Back at the lot, Terence's mind wandered to business. New inventory next week, Q4 targets, the glitchy AC. The cruisers snapped him back. He did everything right. No sudden moves, clear speech. "I own this place," he repeated. "Dugan, anything in the backpack? Laptop, lunch, meeting a supplier, check inside." Renshaw, hands on the hood. "Excuse me, check the desk. My name's on the paperwork." Renshaw grabbed his wrist. The shift hit, pulse racing, throat dry. Terence turned slowly, palms flat on the warm Lexus hood. The irony biting, as he just approved its financing days ago. Cuffs clicked open. "Dugan, we'll figure it at the station if needed." Terence didn't resist. He knew better. "I told you, Terence Bledsoe, bought from Grant Weatherford 3 weeks ago. Valeria Morno, GM, en route." Renshaw yanked a wrist back, tight and deliberate. Dugan watched like a hawk. "You think we're letting you say you own it? The keys are inside. You can see the contract." Dugan, always this early. "Owners do." Second cuff tighter. Renshaw yanked up. "Watch your tone." Terence fixed eyes on gravel, jaw clenched. The lot felt alien now, the wax scent from last night's buff mocking him. "Dugan, how'd you own it?" "Bought it. Valeria's coming." Renshaw smirked. Hoodie guy bought a dealership. His backpack lay open, folder peeking out. Noticed. From a nearby Camry, Deja Macmillan filmed, heart pounding. She'd arrived early, podcast on, but recognized Terence's calm stride. Text to Valeria, "Cops cuffed Mr. B, come now." Renshaw turned Terence toward the door. "Gonna let me open it? Keys inside, or kick it for insurance." Handle turned, unlocked, lights on. "Dugan, stay here." Cuffed by his own entrance, Terence seethed quietly. Inside, officers rummaged drawers, ignoring ownership docs. Dugan outside, you say something. Y'all found the docs but don't want them to mean anything. Keep running mouth. More charges for opening my business. Radio crackled. Second call, Morno confirming owner. Valeria's SUV screeched in. Officers, that's Terence Bledsoe. He owns it. She shoved past to Terence. You good? Better now. To them, badge on window. His name yesterday. Desk first drawer, photo with Weatherford. They retreated inside, found contracts, licenses. Back out, slower. Renshaw, miscommunication. Dugan unlocked cuffs. Terence rubbed welts. Valeria, no apology. Responding to a call. Procedure. They drove off, silent. Terence breathed, picked up backpack, entered. Deja's video captured it all. Valeria paced. They just left. Terence nodded. Doctor, pepper on wrist. Deja entered, filmed it. Sent to his phone. Staff arrived, tension thick. By noon, whispers spread. Terence played the video, clear, raw. He's calm, I own this. The twist, Valeria's storm, release it. Valeria shows truth. Deja posted evening, caption simple. Views climbed overnight. Morning, 80K views. Terence routines. Trash, inventory, coffee. Staff watchful. Valeria, online everywhere. Comments flooded. Support, trolls drowned. Customer Louis, shake hand. Principal, a group outside with signs. Terence felt weight. Symbol unwilling. Internal affairs called. Attorney Trina prepped, meeting, truth told, news picked up, pressure, sue, fire officers, Denise, speak rest. Terence recorded late, tired of practicing, 500,000 views. Messages poured, mayor called, vague statement, school invite, spoke to kids, don't let silence be last. A mentorship started, final video, take pen back, posted raw, reaction quiet, thanks from all. Business steady, trust built. As the sun climbed higher over La Porte, casting long shadows across the Lakeview AutoGroup lot, Terence Bledsoe stepped back into the office, the door clicking shut behind him like a punctuation mark on the morning's absurdity. The air inside was cooler, laced with the faint scent of new vinyl from the showroom models. But it did little to ease the burn on his wrists or the deeper ache settling in his chest. He dropped into the worn leather chair behind the desk, the same one Grant Weatherford had occupied for years, and let out a slow breath, staring at the framed loan agreement on the wall. It was supposed to symbolize triumph, his name in bold, the date 3 weeks prior, the bank's seal affirming his place as owner. Now it mocked him, a reminder that paper trails meant nothing when bias wrote the narrative. Deja Macmillan hovered near the door, her phone still clutched tightly, the video file a digital witness to the injustice. She'd been with the dealership for 2 years, starting as a part-time detailer before moving to admin, her sharp eye for detail making her indispensable. But this morning, that eye had captured something personal, visceral. Mr. B.I. I didn't know what else to do, she said, voice barely above a whisper. Terence looked up, his expression softening despite the fatigue etching lines around his eyes. You did more than enough, Deja, thank you. Valeria Morno, the general manager who'd been with Lakeview through 5 owners, including the turbulent transition from Weatherford, paced the room like a caged lioness. Her dark hair was still tousled from the frantic drive, but her eyes burned with resolve. Those officers, procedure, that's what they call it. They didn't even ask to see the keys before cuffing you. Terence rubbed his wrists absently, the red marks already purpling. Flashbacks flickered, the cold click of metal, Renshaw's grip yanking upward, the gravel under his boots as he stared down, refusing to give them the reaction they seemed to provoke. He'd learned early in the oil change bays of his youth that compliance wasn't weakness, it was survival. At 19, fresh from trade school, he'd been pulled over twice in 1 week for routine checks. While driving his first beater car, a '92 Honda with a busted taillight, he'd fixed himself. No tickets, just questions. Where you headed? What's in the trunk? Each time he'd answered calmly, hands on the wheel, heart hammering. Same as now. He murmured to no one, pulling himself back. Won't let it define the day. The team began arriving. Romy Elston in finance, the new hire with a fresh MBA and dreams of climbing the auto world. The technicians filtering in from the service bay, grease, stained but alert. Whispers spread like oil on water. Heard cops cuffed the boss. Over what? Being black before dawn. Deja shared the video quietly, first to Valeria, then in the break room huddle. Romy's face paled as he watched. Terence's steady, I own this, ignored the twist of the arm, Valeria's intervention like a force of nature. This is wrong, man, straight up. The energy shifted, not defeat but a quiet fury, a collective straightening of spines. These were folks who'd scraped by in the industry, facing their own microaggressions. Customers assuming the Latina GM was a receptionist. The black detailer questioned on his credentials. Terence's calm amplified their resolve. By mid-morning, the video Deja posted, captioned simply, factually, had breached 10,000 views, shared in local Facebook groups and TikTok stitches. Terence avoided his phone, focusing on routine, logging overnight inventory, prepping for Doug Rivers' arrival. The supplier pulled in on time, invoice in hand, oblivious at first. Terence, my man, ready for those tires. But the handshake faltered as Doug caught the welts. What happened to you? Terence waved it off. Misunderstanding. Let's talk business. Deal sealed, but Doug lingered, heard rumblings online. You all right? Getting there. As Doug left, the first customer of the day arrived. Not for a car, but recognition. Louis, in maroon tracksuit, extended a hand from the video, buying on principle. The lot filled slowly, but the air hummed with unspoken tension. Howard Dillon, across the street, sipped fresh coffee, blinds cracked, watching the cruiser's absence with mild satisfaction, until his phone buzzed with a neighbor's text. You called on the new owner, idiot. His face soured. He'd patrolled this block for decades, calling on suspicious teens. The immigrant family barbecuing late, just keeping safe. He'd mutter, but doubt crept now as sirens' echo faded. Officers Renshaw and Dugan, back at the station, filed their report, responded to B and E call. Subject detained briefly, ownership verified, no further action. No mention of cuffs, tone, or the ignored claims. Dispatch logs noted the second call from Valeria, but it was buried. Internal affairs stirred faintly, Godfrey reviewing footage from body cams, if any existed. Routine. Renshaw shrugged to Dugan over coffee. Caller said break in. We checked. Dugan nodded, but a knot formed. He'd seen the video circulating in group chats. Terence's phone finally buzzed insistently. Denise saw the video coming down. He texted back, stay home, handling it, but she arrived anyway, pulling into the lot with their daughter in tow, eyes scanning for threats. In the office, hugs exchanged, Denise's hand on his wrist. They did this. Terence nodded. Procedure, she scoffed, call Trina. The attorney arrived swiftly, reviewing the video. This is textbook profiling. We document, but your call on suing. Afternoon brought media, local reporter emailing. Terence demurred. Staff rally. Dromi organizing a quick team meeting. We back you, boss. Views hit 50K. Comments, this is America. Sue them. Trolls. Complied wrong. Terence played it again alone, his voice steady, officer's dismissal raw. Truth, Valeria said, entering. Release your statement. He hesitated, wanted normalcy, not spotlight, but Louis's words echoed, stood tall. Evening fell, lot closing. Terence recorded, tired of practicing, posted. Views exploded. Denise, proud. School calls, mentorship idea sparked. Internal probe deepened, city statement vague. Terence spoke to kids. Strength and calm. Program launched. Mentees arriving. Final video. Take the pen. Trust rebuilt. Story reclaimed as the midday sun beat down on the Lakeview AutoGroup, turning the asphalt into a shimmering haze. Terence Bledsoe emerged from the office, the weight of the morning's events still pressing but no longer crushing. The welts on his wrists throbbed faintly under the cooling doctor. Pepper can, a makeshift compress from the break room fridge, but the real pulse was in the lot. The hum of activity as staff moved with renewed purpose. Customers drawn not just by deals but by the story unfolding. Deja's video had transcended local shares, threading into national conversations on platforms from Twitter to Reddit, where users dissected every frame. The ignored "I own this", the casual cuffing, Valeria's fierce advocacy. Terence felt exposed, yet oddly anchored. He'd built this place on quiet persistence, but now persistence had a spotlight. Romy Elston, the young finance whiz, approached with a tablet. Mr. B, views at 100K. NPR wants a quote. Terence shook his head. Tell him later. Instead, he walked the lot, greeting the team, technicians detailing a Ford F-150, sales reps prepping pitches. Each nod carried solidarity. These were his people, mirrors of his journey. Deja, wiping down a console, met his eyes. Posted it for you. Knew you would. Howard Dillon, peeking from his blinds, felt the tide turn. Neighbors texting outrage, his call recast as bigotry. Just reported. He grumbled to himself, but isolation crept in. Officers Renshaw and Dugan faced scrutiny at the station. Body cam review revealed no footage. Cameras off protocol. Godfrey from IA called Terence. Interview tomorrow. Trina prepped. Demand accountability. News crews arrived. Terence gave brief. Ownership shouldn't require proof at gunpoint. Views soared. Lamar's email, speaking for us. Customer surge. Principals buying trucks. Denise visited again, daughter sketching lot cars. Mentorship, she asked, for the next ones, a school visit. Kids listened, Callan's question lingering. Program grew 23 mentees, notebooks filled. Mayor's call, platitudes. Terence's video, fairness demands voice. Messages, thanks from officers, moms, vets. Business boomed on trust. Evening, final recording. Dignity sold here. Posted raw. Quiet impacts solidarity over buzz. Terence watched mentee shine. Reclaimed narrative. Not victim, but voice. Story endured.
If you liked this story, please like, subscribe, and share it with others so they can learn something from it too.